Hold on to your seats, because this one is explosive. What happens when friendship, fame, and betrayal collide in the most jaw-dropping way imaginable? Kim Kardashian, the queen of reality TV and empire building, thought she had it all: fame, fortune, and friendships she could trust. But little did she know, one of her closest friends, Teyana, was hiding a secret so scandalous it could shatter Hollywood's glittering facade. Yes, you heard that right. Teyana, the singer-dancer extraordinaire, allegedly slept with none other than Kanye West, Kim's ex-husband, while the two were still married. But that's not all. How did this betrayal go unnoticed? What about the private flights, the secret videos, and the whispers behind closed doors? Did Teyana really plan this moment, or was it an impulsive decision that blew up into a full-blown media hurricane? And while Kim's world crumbled behind the cameras, Teyana apparently had the audacity to mock, tease, and even clap back at the drama, leaving fans asking, is this a petty revenge plot or the ultimate Hollywood power move? Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the messy, shocking, and oh-so-savage story of friendship, betrayal, and secrets that no one saw coming. You won't believe what we uncovered. It all started as the kind of friendship that people write about in glossy magazines and reality TV segments. Kim Kardashian and Teyana, laughing together at birthday parties, attending bachelorette bashes, sharing moments that seemed intimate, loyal, and trustworthy. To the outside world, it was a perfect picture: two women in the public eye, enjoying the perks of fame and the comfort of mutual admiration. But as with many stories in Hollywood, the surface beauty hides a darker, messier truth. And this one is the kind that makes you question who you really know, who you can trust, and how far someone might go for desire, ambition, or just plain recklessness. Kim Kardashian, the mogul, the star, the woman whose life is a carefully curated spectacle, has now come forward with allegations that shock anyone who followed her life even casually. She claims that Teyana, once considered a close confidant, crossed a line so severe that it wasn't just betrayal, it was a personal, intimate violation of trust. Kim's account is chilling. According to her, while she and Kanye West were still married, Teyana allegedly engaged in a sexual relationship with Kanye, undermining a friendship that had been built over years. The idea that someone she considered a friend could pursue her husband while knowing the sanctity of her marriage is more than just hurtful. It's incendiary. Kim even mentioned that her mother had earlier hinted to be cautious with Teyana, implying that there were subtle red flags that perhaps went unnoticed in the excitement of celebrity life, parties, and collaborations. But warnings, as it often happens, were ignored or worse, underestimated, and what followed has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. The evidence, Kim claims, is substantial. She refers to a plane manifest that allegedly shows Teyana and Kanye traveling together in close quarters in a way that contradicts any narrative of innocent friendship. But the piece de resistance, the part that fuels speculation and conspiracy theories, is a video circulating among insiders and media outlets where Teyana is reportedly seen accompanying Kanye onto a private plane. The footage, according to Kim, isn't doctored or misinterpreted. It is direct, undeniable, and devastating in its implications. For Kim, this wasn't just a betrayal. It was a public humiliation, an invasion of personal boundaries that the world was never supposed to see. And the timing? Perfectly calculated, according to those who want to speculate, to hit Kim's world when it was most vulnerable. Social dynamics in Hollywood are tricky. Friendships often double as business arrangements, alliances, and power plays. But this incident exposes just how toxic such entanglements can become. Teyana, an artist in her own right, had built a reputation as a performer, a creative force, and a friend. She had a public persona of loyalty and trustworthiness. Yet the allegations suggest a duality: someone who could charm, smile, and bond, while secretly orchestrating intimate encounters with a married man. It's a narrative Hollywood loves, the betrayal that cuts deeper than any feud, the story that proves fame, beauty, and influence do not protect anyone from heartbreak or scandal. Kim didn't just stay silent. Once the truth, or what she perceives as the truth, came to light, She openly labeled Teyana as disloyal and a homewrecker, remarks that were echoed by her family, including her sisters, who have publicly reinforced the narrative of betrayal. The language here is crucial. Kim's not just angry. She's asserting ownership over the narrative, making it clear that trust, friendship, and marriage were violated in ways that cannot be overlooked. And for the audience, these declarations serve as both confirmation and invitation confirmation that this is real, and an invitation to witness the fallout, the drama, and the media storm that inevitably follows such revelations. Of course, Hollywood being Hollywood, the story doesn't stay in private texts or family whispers. Once leaked, speculation spread like wildfire. Fans dissected old photos, scrutinized timelines, and combed through social media captions, trying to piece together a narrative that could explain how such a scandal could happen under the radar of paparazzi, per teams, and the constant glare of public scrutiny. And then came the comparisons, the debates. Was this premeditated? Was it opportunistic? Or was it a reckless moment that spiraled into catastrophe? Each perspective fueled the controversy further, making the drama almost too big to ignore. And it wasn't just Kim's marriage under the microscope. Teyana's own public life came under intense scrutiny. Allegations didn't stop at Kanye West. Reports surfaced about other controversial encounters, including claims that she shared a public moment with Lila Rochen's husband Antoine Fuqua in Italy, captured in photos that went viral. Teyana, quick to address some of the claims, described the incident as a moment and a mistake, attempting to downplay the narrative. But when social media and the press are involved, an apology rarely suffices. The court of public opinion is swift, loud, and often unforgiving, especially when layered with insinuations of intentional betrayal. From Kim's perspective, the combination of past warnings, documented encounters, and the sheer audacity of Teyana's actions paints a picture of a friendship that was never as pure as it seemed. And from Teyana's side, the narrative is different. She maintains that Kim's marriage issues were complicated, that Kanye's behavior contributed to the marital breakdown, and that the blame cannot rest solely on her shoulders. It's a classic clash of perspectives, one fueled by emotion, media coverage, and the human tendency to take sides in a story of betrayal, loyalty, and scandal. But what makes this story particularly sticky is the timing and the visibility of each act. In a world where social media amplifies every slight, every moment, and every rumor, it's impossible for either party to control the narrative completely. Kim's disclosure, her citing of tangible evidence like plain manifests and video footage, and Teyana's responses through cryptic captions and music references, all combine to create a volatile mix that keeps fans, media outlets, and casual observers glued to every development. Every post, every comment, every subtle dig or clapback becomes a headline, a talking point, a piece of evidence in a drama that seems to have no resolution in sight. The consequences of such revelations go beyond personal hurt. In the celebrity ecosystem, reputation is currency. Relationships with collaborators, endorsements, and fans can be impacted in an instant. When trust is broken publicly, the ripple effects extend far beyond the individuals involved. Kim, with her empire, her media presence, and her influence, is now forced to navigate not only emotional turmoil, but also public perception, brand integrity, and the delicate task of reclaiming her narrative. Teyana, meanwhile, faces backlash, skepticism, and the challenge of maintaining credibility in a climate that thrives on scandal and judgment. As the story unfolds, one thing is clear: this is not just about a love triangle or a friendship gone wrong. It's about power, visibility, and the collision of private choices with public scrutiny. It's about how even carefully constructed lives can unravel when secrets, desires, and betrayals intersect. And for the audience, it's a cautionary tale, a spectacle, and an invitation to witness the messy, dramatic, and sometimes ruthless world of celebrity relationships. As part 1 comes to a close, the stage is set for what promises to be an escalating storm. The friendships are fractured, The allegations are public, and the lines between truth, rumor, and perception are blurred. Fans are already divided, discussions are rampant, and the media is circling, hungry for the next revelation. What remains to be seen is how deep the betrayal truly goes, and how each player in this drama will respond when the next layer is peeled back. Because in Hollywood, as in life, the first shock is only the beginning. As the whispers turned into headlines, the story escalated faster than anyone could have anticipated. The leaked reports, anonymous tips, and alleged insider accounts began painting a picture of betrayal that went far beyond a private indiscretion. According to sources who claim to have seen the interactions firsthand, the chemistry between Teyana Taylor and Kanye West was anything but subtle. While Kim was supposedly trusting her friend, Teyana was allegedly orchestrating encounters in ways that insiders describe as strategically shocking. One so-called source, speaking under the veil of anonymity, claimed it wasn't just casual flirting. There were moments clearly meant to provoke, to assert power over a marriage that many thought was untouchable. The public, of course, ate it up, dissecting every social media post, every video snippet, and even plain manifests that seemed to corroborate Kim's claims. One of the most talked about pieces of evidence came from the infamous private plane footage. Rumors suggest that Teyana was not only accompanying Kanye, but that the interactions were flirtatious, intimate, and undeniably more than friendly. Fans and bloggers began analyzing every second of the clip, debating body language, hand placements, and lingering looks. Memes exploded overnight, portraying Kim as the unsuspecting queen betrayed by someone she welcomed into her inner circle, while Teyana became a polarizing figure, either a bold player or an opportunist with zero loyalty. The scandal was no longer just gossip. It had entered the realm of public obsession, with every entertainment outlet weighing in, every Instagram page buzzing, and every Twitter feed flooded with speculation. But the story didn't stop at private flights or intimate moments. Sources claim there were whispers about lavish gatherings, late-night meetings, and what insiders describe as Hollywood-level strategy sessions, where Teyana allegedly made moves that would ensure she remained at the center of a narrative that many assumed Kim would control. She knew what she was doing, a supposed insider stated. It wasn't a mistake. It was calculated. And in a world where perception is power, Teyana understood exactly how to manipulate it. Of course, these are claims, unverified but sensational enough to dominate headlines and social feeds, further stoking the flames of public debate. Meanwhile, social media became the courtroom where judgment was swift and often brutal. Fans of Kim rallied behind her, framing Teyana as a homewrecker and accusing her of exploiting a friendship for personal gain. Influencers, bloggers, and even casual observers joined the conversation. Posting reaction videos, breakdowns, and side-by-side comparisons of social media activity that allegedly revealed the timeline of the betrayal. Some even dug into old interviews, past collaborations, and throwback photos, claiming they could identify subtle signals that hinted at this drama years in advance. The frenzy wasn't just about morality. It was a cultural spectacle, a storyline that combined fame, friendship, and scandal into a narrative people couldn't resist analyzing minute by minute. Teyana, naturally, did not stay silent. Through cryptic social media captions, indirect song lyrics, and sly comments during interviews, she pushed back against the narrative. Some posts were playful, some were pointed, and some seemed almost like personal messages directed at Kim, without ever explicitly naming her. "Life is too short to live in someone else's shadow," one caption read, which fans immediately interpreted as a dig at Kim's public reaction. Every post fueled debate. Was she unapologetic, clever, or simply stirring the pot for attention? The ambiguity only added fuel to the fire, as every statement became a puzzle piece in the ongoing public feud, adding another layer of intrigue. More allegations surfaced linking Teyana to other controversial moments. Remember the Italy incident with Antoine Fuqua, captured in viral photos? That episode, whether a moment or a mistake as Teyana described it, suddenly became part of a larger narrative. Critics and fans alike began to question patterns of behavior, asking whether Teyana's alleged choices reflected impulsivity, audacity, or a deliberate strategy to dominate headlines. Every appearance, every post, every public interaction became scrutinized through the lens of betrayal and scandal. And Teyana's carefully constructed public persona was put under a microscope. The media frenzy wasn't just limited to tabloids or gossip blogs. Late-night hosts, pop culture podcasts, and mainstream news outlets all jumped in, dissecting every angle of the story. Speculation about Kanye's role, Kim's reaction, and Teyana's intentions dominated coverage. Headlines screamed betrayal, disloyalty, and scandal, while pundits debated whether this incident would have lasting repercussions for careers, friendships, and personal reputations. The spectacle was relentless, and with each news source or leaked snippet, the drama became more convoluted and captivating. Fans' reactions revealed a divided public. On one side, Kim's supporters emphasized loyalty, respect, and the sanctity of marriage. They flooded social media with defenses, hashtags, and commentary framing Teyana as the antagonist in a story of deception. On the other side, some followers argued for nuance, suggesting that relationships are complex, that the dynamics between Kanye, Kim, and Teyana were layered, and that assigning blame isn't always straightforward. The debate raged across platforms, fueling discussion, engagement, and, of course, virality. Every comment, retweet, and post became another fragment in the ongoing narrative, keeping this scandal alive far longer than anyone could have anticipated. Even celebrity insiders couldn't resist weighing in. Anonymous sources hinted at behind-the-scenes conversations, private warnings, and subtle cues that supposedly foreshadowed the drama. According to one insider, Kim trusted Teyana completely. That's why it hurts so much. In Hollywood, trust is currency, and she just lost a fortune. Another alleged source added, Teyana always had ambition. She's talented, yes, but she's also calculated. She knew what she was doing and how it would play out in the media, whether accurate or fabricated. These insider accounts added layers of intrigue and kept the audience hooked, desperate for the next revelation. By now, the scandal had seeped into every corner of celebrity culture. Fashion collaborations, music projects, public appearances, everything was viewed through the lens of suspicion. Analysts, fans, and gossip columnists examined whether partnerships would be affected, how the fallout might influence endorsements, and whether the scandal would have long-term career consequences. In Hollywood, perception is everything, and the perception that Teyana betrayed a friendship and disrupted a high-profile marriage made her both vilified and fascinating. Every action she took was scrutinized, every word dissected, and every media interaction turned into evidence in an ongoing public trial. And yet, amidst all the chaos, the story remained unresolved. Teyana's cryptic responses, Kim's public statements, and the constant speculation created a volatile mix. No side had full control over the narrative, and the lack of resolution only fueled further interest. Fans debated endlessly, was Teyana the villain, or was she merely caught in circumstances beyond her control? Was Kim justified in her anger, or was she holding on to resentment in a way that prevented closure? The lines between personal grievance, public scandal, and media spectacle blurred, making the story addictive, divisive, and impossible to ignore. As the scandal raged on, the consequences for both Kim Kardashian and Teyana Taylor began to ripple far beyond what anyone could have anticipated. Public opinion, once a distant whisper, became a roaring force shaping reputations, careers, and social interactions. For Kim, the fallout was deeply personal. Close friends reportedly struggled to offer comfort, knowing that any association with the drama could drag them into the vortex of headlines and social media outrage. Even those who had long celebrated Kim's public persona expressed sympathy, acknowledging that betrayal of this magnitude cuts deeper than any tabloid story could capture. Her family, too, remained a central pillar of support, but the sense of shock and disappointment was palpable. According to insiders, Kim spent countless hours reviewing interactions, rewatching footage, and analyzing every detail of her friendship with Teyana, attempting to make sense of the actions that had appended her private life. Meanwhile, Teyana Taylor found herself navigating a completely different set of challenges. The allegations against her, whether true or exaggerated, were now public, and the scrutiny was relentless. Fans dissected her every move, every interview, post, and public appearance analyzed for hidden messages, apologies, or evidence of further indiscretions. Her artistic output, previously celebrated for talent and creativity, suddenly became secondary to her public persona as the alleged betrayer. Critics and commentators debated whether she had acted out of desire, ambition, or sheer recklessness, and speculation about her motivations dominated entertainment news cycles. The intense focus placed her in a position where every word mattered, every gesture scrutinized, and every decision could amplify or mitigate the scandal. As the media storm continued, rumors about possible legal implications began to surface. Some insiders hinted at potential contractual disputes, suggesting that private collaborations, endorsements, and brand deals could be impacted by the public perception of the scandal. While there was no official confirmation, the mere suggestion of financial or legal consequences added an extra layer of tension. Fans speculated whether lawsuits or investigations might follow, turning a personal betrayal into a story with high-stakes consequences. The idea that friendships, marriages, and careers could collide in such a dramatic fashion fascinated the public, who watch every development like a serialized drama. Social media, as expected, remained a battleground. Kim's supporters continued to flood feeds with messages condemning Teyana's actions, reinforcing the narrative of betrayal and disloyalty. Some even went further, digging into old posts and interviews to point out subtle signs of duplicity, framing the scandal as a long-awaited revelation rather than an isolated incident. On the other side, Teyana's fans argued for context, emphasizing nuance, personal choice, and the complexities of relationships in the celebrity world. They highlighted moments where Kim's own marriage issues might have contributed to the situation, framing Teyana not as the villain, but as a person navigating a difficult dynamic. The polarized reaction kept the story alive, generating engagement, clicks, and virality that ensured the scandal would remain a topic of public fascination for weeks, if not months. The entertainment industry, of course, was not immune to the fallout. Collaborators, producers, and fellow artists watched the drama unfold with a mix of curiosity and caution. Some insiders hinted at shifts in alliances, suggesting that certain partnerships might be reconsidered in light of the controversy. Others speculated about the impact on future collaborations, appearances, and projects for both Kim and Teyana. In Hollywood, perception is everything, and the ability to navigate the storm of public opinion can determine whether careers flourish or falter. Both women, now under intense scrutiny, had to consider how each public action could influence not only personal narratives, but also professional trajectories. The scandal also sparked broader cultural conversations. Discussions about loyalty, friendship, and morality circulated widely, with commentators weighing in on what constitutes betrayal in high-profile relationships. Was it acceptable for someone to cross personal boundaries for desire or opportunity? Could ambition justify actions that undermine trust? And how much responsibility should be placed on public figures for maintaining secrecy in an age where social media amplifies every choice? These questions kept the conversation alive, ensuring that the story resonated beyond gossip blogs and social media feeds, into discussions about ethics, personal responsibility, and human behavior under scrutiny. As the narrative unfolded, both Kim and Teyana attempted to regain control of their public images, albeit in very different ways. Kim leaned into transparency, sharing selective details with her followers and reinforcing her perspective of loyalty, betrayal, and emotional resilience. Teyana, in contrast, maintained a subtler approach, using indirect captions, song lyrics, and selective public appearances to assert her perspective without fully confronting the allegations head-on. This dynamic created a tension-filled interplay, where the audience was left to interpret motives, actions, and consequences based on partial information and media speculation. The ambiguity fueled further fascination as every statement, glance, or post became a potential clue in the ongoing saga. The public's reaction remained overwhelmingly fascinated by the personal dimensions of the scandal. Memes commentary and fan analyses proliferated, dissecting body language, timing, and social media interactions. Every moment was a potential headline, every subtle gesture a potential indicator of emotion or intent. The public's obsession reflected a deep-seated interest in narratives of betrayal, power, and secrecy, especially when they involve celebrities whose lives are usually curated for admiration and aspiration. The scandal, in many ways, had become a spectacle, a cultural event that highlighted the intersection of private lives and public fascination, showing how fame can magnify even the most intimate betrayals. In the midst of this, questions remained unanswered. Had Teyana intended to hurt Kim, or was the situation a convergence of impulsive actions and complex relationships? How much responsibility should Kanye bear in the disruption of both friendship and marriage? And most importantly, could there be reconciliation, closure, or understanding between the women, or was this a rupture so severe that no future interactions could repair it? These lingering questions kept fans and commentators engaged, speculating and creating their own narratives, adding layers of complexity to an already explosive situation. So now that you've seen the chaos, the betrayal, and the jaw-dropping twists, we have to ask, what do you think? Was Teyana Taylor crossing a line? Or is this just Hollywood drama taken way too seriously? Should Kim Kardashian finally let this go? Or is her anger completely justified after everything that happened? We want to hear your thoughts because this story isn't just entertainment, it's a debate, a scandal, and a cultural phenomenon all rolled into one. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Who do you side with? Is this a case of friendship completely destroyed, or just another messy chapter in celebrity life that will eventually blow over? And don't hold back, this is the place to get your hot takes, your theories, and even your wildest predictions about what's next. If you enjoyed this breakdown of betrayal, drama, and Hollywood secrets, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next explosive update. Trust us, you won't want to blink, because the next chapter could be even more shocking. Stay tuned, stay obsessed, and stay ready, because in this world of fame, trust is fragile and drama is endless.